Hello and welcome to Mumblecast, the oddly structured, poorly researched podcast extravaganza. My name is Liam, and as always, I'm here with my co-host, Kayla.
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. How has your week been?
It's been good.
What have you been up to?
Just the usual.
What's the usual?
Coaching.
Don't tell me. It's the same every week. If I know, because new listeners. Yes, tell us.
Coaching, and school is now out for the summer. So not that right now. And then... and that's about it.
Just doing stuff.
Yeah.
Excellent. I've had very much similar to you, just not been doing anything. So, what are we talking about? Last week we had Brexit.
Yes.
That was a bit of, first of all, it was more of a lecture than it was a discussion.
All right.
Which I do apologize
discussion.
for. Okay, cool.
We're going to debate some topics, which it could get heated. It could not.
Usually, is it topics like what's better, Lucky Charms or Cocoa Pops? First of all, it's not a discussion, it's Cocoa Pops. But is it something like that?
Well, seeing that I could ask you anything and you could turn it into a debate, no.
Okay.
So, hold on. Why Cocoa Pops? Is that the same thing as Cocoa Puffs?
Because they turn them chocolatey.
Ooh, okay.
I don't know, the one with the monkey. Do you not have a monkey here?
Yeah.
What was that? What are they for you?
Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Well, no. I'd rather have a bowl of Cocoa Pops.
No, we're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Oh, no.
Puffs.
We are. What's the monkey called? I think the monkey might be called...
Cocoa?
Yeah, it's called Cocoa. I think we had an advert or like a test that they wanted to change it to Cocoa Puffs back in like the early 2000s. And it was like unanimously decided, no, we're keeping it as Cocoa Pops. Because they go pop, 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 like kind of like snap, crackle, and pop.
Oh, Cocoa Puff is a... That makes more sense.
What?
He is a... what are these birds
puffin?
called?
A toucan?
Yeah, like that little thing.
Oh,
and his name
that's not a real bird. Let me see.
So he's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Okay, no, so we have, this is Nesquik cereal for us.
Okay.
So it's the Nesquik bunny and...
Well, that's a shitty name.
But that's not all Cocoa Pops. What's Cocoa Pops for you then?
This.
No, but... So you know Ricicles? Or Rice Krispies?
Yes.
What are chocolate
call
versions
them
of it?
Ricicles?
So
oh God, never mind, guys. This podcast.
Right, have you had Snap, Crackle, and Pop?
Those are Rice Krispies.
So you Rice Krispies, okay?
Yes.
If you have them in the like kind of Frosties.
Frosted Flakes.
Yes,
Yes.
That's kind of sugar frosting.
Yes.
If you put them on Rice Krispies, you get Ricicles.
Okay.
And if you cover them in chocolate, you get Cocoa Pops.
Okay.
So you don't have either of those cereals.
Yes, I don't know what our chocolate. What are let's call chocolate Rice Krispies. I think they might just be called
Chocolate Rice Krispies.
chocolate Rice Krispies.
Huh. Yeah, for us they're Cocoa Pops.
Huh.
And the frosted Rice Krispies are the Ricicles. At least that's how I pronounced them. It might not. Had a wee spaceman.
Ricicles? Cocoa Krispies.
Oh, okay.
Or
So
what?
have that.
Yeah. They're called Cocoa Krispies.
And the frosted cocoa languages?
Ricicles?
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing came up.
Oh. What? So that's our Ricicle man.
Seasicle.
It's like a wee spaceman.
Oh. No, we don't have those, I don't think.
So that's just frosted versions of them. We didn't have much Ricicles, but we had Cocoa Pops a lot. See these two. Yeah, Cocoa Pops.
Okay.
Anyway, they're better because they turn them out chocolatey and they're yummy. And
I
Lucky
never really
Charms
liked
aren't very
Lucky
good.
Charms.
No.
They kind of taste like cardboard.
Yeah, even thinking back to when I had them as a kid, I don't remember eating it, enjoying it. I remember eating it and having a novelty of it, but not enjoying it.
Yep. It's
Cocoa
very
Pops is
similar.
always better for me.
I'm just not going to make eye contact with her.
Okay, wait, first of all, let's get ready to
mumble.
mumble, because we missed it out last week, 2 weeks ago, and when I was recording, I was like, damn, I was going to cut one in, but I was like, scrap it. Cool, we got that now.
All right. Okay, so we're going to debate some stuff.
What are we debating?
So, I'm going to ask some debate questions, and we're just going to go for it.
Okay. Are we timed? Do we have like a 2-minute response? What's it called when you debate and then you have a...
quick questions?
What's it called? Do you have like a...
Debate and rebuttal?
Rebuttal, that's the word. No rebuttal.
Yes, we can have a rebuttal.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know which one I want to start with.
I might
These are
set a timer.
interesting and funny.
Interesting and funny.
Yes.
Rather have a bowl of Cocoa Pops. A minute or 2 minutes?
2 minutes.
2 minutes for a debate and 2 minutes for a rebuttal. And do we have a rebuttal?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we can. Depends on if we have 2 minutes left.
Oh, only from what we've managed to get out in those 2 minutes do we have to come to a decision between us.
Okay. What are the advantages of bottled water versus regular water?
What stance
like tap water.
What stance are you taking? No, wait. There's no stance. This isn't a debate.
No.
This is just a discussion.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not just
debating
okay.
it.
Yeah, we said it was a discussion. We don't need 2 minutes then. Because it was like you debate bottled water, I debate tap water, and then we have
can
to
still debate it.
Okay, but we don't do the sort of timed rebuttal.
Okay.
But anyway, okay.
Maybe not for this one, but there were definitely others. I just was wanting to go with the lighthearted one first.
Yeah.
I didn't want to jump right into the scary topics.
Did you guys hear, as we talked about bottled water, Sadie drinking or lapping up her water?
That was definitely bottled water.
You give Sadie bottled water?
No.
I am not a fan of bottled water.
Okay.
I don't like the taste of bottled water.
Really?
And I don't like how much plastic bottles are produced through bottled water.
But you also don't like tap water.
I don't like the US tap water so far.
Well,
the UK tap water
Yes.
is phenomenal.
as is the Dutch.
It's better to
water.
drink, as in I prefer the tap water to bottled water taste. Even here, I'm not a big fan of bottled water taste, but it's
Okay.
better than tap water here is awful.
Yes.
Like, it truly is awful. I won't drink water. I'd rather dehydrate than drink tap water here. It sucks.
I don't agree with that, but
Like, so I drink this Mayo diluting juice and I put it in the tap water and it just tastes crap. And I'm like, how have you managed to make this thing that I drink every day because I'm an idiot and can't get away from things taste so disgusting? Like, when I have tap water ice in my filtered water, I can't drink it because it just tastes of tap water.
tastes like tap water. Yeah.
I can tell you, I've told you, in fact, this weekend, I think I told somebody
Yeah.
that the ice is made from tap water because it sucks.
So I don't have that big of an aversion to it, probably
Yeah.
because I've been here longer and
Yeah.
gotten used to it. I did notice a completely different, I don't know, Dutch water was amazing. It was always cold. Like
Well,
you didn't need ice.
Standard.
Well, yes, but like you don't have ice there, but you don't really need it because the water's cold just from the tap.
I find here, the hot tap is colder than the cold tap initially because the hot tap's just coming straight from the, I don't know, the pipe, where the hot tap has come through the boiler. The boiler's in shade, so it's colder. And I don't know how it is, but turning the cold tap here is not cold. Like
Yeah.
in the gym, after I work out, I want to splash my face and it's like warm water, or
Lukewarm
tepid water. and
yeah.
you're like, ugh.
Yep. Yeah, I don't bottled water. I hate take it or leave it. I don't like wasting the plastic, but the taste. I've never really thought about the taste of it.
I'm not against the taste of bottled water. I don't
Okay.
hate the taste of bottled water. I just prefer Scottish tap water. Or filtered water. Filtered water here. Scottish tap was great.
Yeah.
And filtered water here, like listen, the filters you have in your, we don't have, obviously we don't need filtered water
Yeah.
back home, but it's really good here.
Yeah,
Like, I'm happy to install, $1,000 filter to get that version of
For
tap
sure.
water when I drink. And because I drink water and diluting juice quite a lot rather than beers or wines,
Yeah.
at dinner table I'll have that. So I need that.
Have you been to Florida
No,
and drink? Okay, the tap water there
sucks.
is even worse.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
There's like no hills for it to roll down from.
It's
So
disgusting.
from swamp water, just filtered a billion
It's
times.
so bad. Like I remember I would like go brush my teeth. Like we would go on vacation there and I'd brush my teeth and like rinse my mouth out with bottled water because it was that bad.
We'd have to do that when you go to some European countries.
Well, yeah.
When you go to Greece and Spain, you'd do that.
Yeah.
Probably other ones as well.
Mexico.
Yeah, they've been, but yeah. I think I don't understand how the bottled water industry is so big. Like, get to France, smart water? Are you kidding me? Or these like, this was my Icelandic glacier. I'm like, who gives a crap?
Yeah.
You know,
Like the
it's
Fuji.
like it doesn't. How is that so big? It's a water brand. They must be laughing.
Yeah.
It's like
just
we
water.
bottle natural water. We don't even filter it. I don't think we probably do a
I
little
don't-
bit,
Yeah, probably.
and then we put it in a bottle and we make it a nice fancy looking bottle, and you pay upwards of like $4 at the supermarket
For a square bottle.
of a small square bottle. And then if you're at a club, like if you go out and you buy a bottle of getting tap water at a club, free. You buy a bottled water, it costs like $12 or like a concert. I'm like, get what?
Yeah. Or even at the movies. Bottled water is very expensive.
Anybody who buys Voss water, which is from a place in Norway, or Smart water, wherever that's coming from, or Fiji water from Japan, or... Is it Japan? Yeah, it's Japan.
I don't know.
I think it's Japan, right? Must be Japan. Mount Fiji, surely.
Yeah, but I don't know if... The picture doesn't look like anything like Japan.
Has that got like cherry blossoms on it?
Oh, maybe. I thought it was a waterfall.
Oh, it could be a waterfall. Maybe it's from... It won't be from the island of Fiji. It must be from Mount Fiji.
I don't know.
Anyway, wherever that's from, or at least... Anyway, I don't know. Yeah, I don't get it.
So, not water. Not bottled water. Not any water.
I'm not against bottled water because it can help provide water to places that can't get healthy fresh water. Mm-hmm. But let's try and move away from it, folk.
Okay.
The amount of plastic waste, but plastic bottles is just ridiculous.
So on the subject of plastic, should plastic bags be banned?
So this is interesting because I spoke to your husband about this.
Really?
Have you spoken to your husband about this? Mm-mm. And he put forward some interesting facts about this to me. Okay. So he listened to a podcast and then he relayed that information on. So this is not only third-hand information. I'm not very good at remembering this stuff. But the way he sold it to me or told me about it, and again, this is coming from someone else who's learned these facts from somewhere else, a lot of the worries and concerns of plastic bags is not as bad as it's made out to be.
Okay.
According to whatever study he was listening to, or the person he was listening to, the amount of energy required to produce plastic bags has become so efficient because of the high demand of plastic bags that for you to use multiple plastic bags isn't that effective to the environment. It's such a refined process now, and I mean that in the sense of it's highly accomplished rather than refined as in causing like refining oils. It provides quite an efficient way of carrying something. If you were to replace that with a synthetic tote bag, for example, that synthetic material has most likely has a less demand and therefore has probably gone through as stringent, if not more stringent process to get there.
Okay.
Yes, it's recyclable and you'll use it more than once, but do you? Like, what if it does break? Then you're having to make one. So he said something like there is some bags or some like reusable bags out there that you'd have to go through some like 1,000 or maybe more than that plastic bags before you reach the same carbon footprint, which is interesting.
Yeah, I've never thought about it that way.
Yeah. There's a couple more things, but I want to hear your thoughts first.
So we tried to use like the reusable bags starting in like college. And then obviously when we lived in Amsterdam, like you don't have plastic bags there. So you have to bring your own bags.
Sure.
So we
banned it in UK. Well, we're not banned them, but we have a charge for them. So unless you're willing to pay per bag, literally per bag, you bring your own. Yeah. So a lot of people do. Yeah.
So we brought our own. It was great because but I learned like exactly how many I needed. We also bought for a shorter. We meal prep, but not like to the extent we do here. And then moving back, we used them for a little bit, but I don't know. I just got out of the they started wearing down. Honestly, like the little bottom pieces we lost those. They got bent. They messed up, and then it's like now we're just piling shit in them, and it's getting broken or smushed or whatever. And so it became easier just to not. And then so like since we moved back from Japan, I don't remember. In Japan, we definitely used them because it was like a similar situation where they did have plastic bags, but like, I don't know, carrying, like we walked to the grocery store and carrying the bags, plastic bags wouldn't have worked. So we used the canvas bags. I don't know. I'd like to get back to it. Like 2 weeks ago, I was about to leave for the grocery store. I grabbed the bags and then I was like, this isn't going to be enough. Like I only have like 4 of these and they're very small and this isn't going to work. So I was like, it's not worth it to just do it halfway. And then I'm still going to get some plastic bags. So I just went ahead and got them. I feel bad using them, but then I try to recycle them. I never know so every time I check out, they're like, do you want paper or plastic? Which one is better to use? Because I feel like the paper ones are going to take. So
it's interesting because from what I've heard from Drake. The paper ones do have a larger carbon footprint to create, but they are from recycled paper, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're good. And a lot of the plastic bags nowadays are being made from recycled plastic bags or recycled plastic, full stop. So they are a somewhat easier process. Now, he could probably tell you more about the chemicals used to create different versions of them, but not all paper bags are done from recycled paper, and even the process of recycling paper is still leaving carbon footprints. You know, they're transporting it to places, mushing it up, kind of whatever they do to it to make it paper again, to then make it into a paper bag. It's a lot of processes.
Yeah.
So and the thing is, with this, the plastic, we're not having to use natural resources to make the new ones. Like, paper still comes from somewhere eventually. Where the plastic, we're using chemicals that are a residue of other things that we're doing to create this stuff. So there's no resource that we're using up necessarily to create this stuff. Yeah, so I don't know which one's better in the sense of recycling wise, but the way he spoke about it is, because we're replacing it with something else, it isn't necessarily as good. It's not the same as straws, because you get rid of straws, you just drink. That's not replacing it with anything. Some people say, we'll replace it with these metal straws or wooden straws. Cool, but the most likely is you're going to take out of it and you're going to drink out of the cup. And that's a good alternative, because it's
it removes part of the plastic.
Where replacing, you got to make sure you're replacing with something good. In addition, what do you use plastic bags for? The ones you get at the shops, what do you use them for?
Like after I get them home?
Yeah.
Or I reuse them?
You don't ever use them? You don't ever put them on the door and put some trash in them, or pick Sadie's poops up? Yeah, you use them. You use them. If you didn't have them, what would you use?
Well, for Sadie's poop, other plastic bags.
Plastic bags, yeah.
A trash bag.
Trash bag.
Yeah.
So it's been shown that places that have put prices on plastic bags or have stopped using them, there's been an increase in bin liners and the heavier duty plastic bags. And that name alone would suggest to you that these plastic bags have cost more to make. They use different chemicals, still haven't produced these things. So all you're doing is shifting the use somewhere else. And people don't think about them. People don't think, why aren't we using paper bags for our bin liners?
Yeah, I've never thought about that.
Why don't we use it? Because we chuck them out. We chuck them into a bin and they have to be in a bag according to the council, the government. So it's all you're doing is replacing an evil with another evil at the moment. Yeah. So there's pros and cons. I would like to see a reduction, and in the grand scheme of things, you do need to do something. But you need to make sure you hit it from all angles rather than just
replacing it with
chipping off
else.
of one side, and what you're actually doing is just being glued onto the other side. So it's a problem. We're not dealing with it the most efficient way, I don't think.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Good. Drake will tell you more about it. He's got some good information on it.
Cool.
Not that you ask him, but if you did care, maybe.
All right.
Fair, what you got saying?
Should fried foods come with a warning? And I'm going to expand this.
Yeah, please do.
To not just fried foods, but to things with a lot of sugar. And basically sugar, fried foods, junk food. Should it come with a warning?
Give me your views.
I don't know necessarily fried food. I think sugar should. I think that there's enough research that shows the negative impacts of sugar. And I think that a lot of people don't know it. And maybe they know it, but they don't know how much sugar is in certain things. And it's just I'm just having one soda. And they don't necessarily realize how much, if you measured out teaspoons of sugar in that, how much it would actually be. So I think if they saw that, I think that kind of stuff should be on there. Okay.
So it's a very interesting subject, because first of all, the thing is, should it be on there, and to what extent does it need to be put on there? The second one is, will that make a difference? I'll give you two things to work from. First, the sugar one. How much warning can you put on it to deter someone if you're trying to sell it? Now, there are millions of companies out there selling produce with what I would consider unhealthy levels of sugar. And some of these are the biggest companies in the world, Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
and that would not ruin them, but it would be that's
Definitely
marketing
hurts their
suicide.
market, yeah.
You know, if you say to Coca-Cola, you have 22 grams of sugar per can, you need to show how much sugar is in this and show the bad health benefits of it.
Yeah.
I don't know how it will affect it.
I don't know. So I think of like
Coca-Cola aren't going to agree with that, and they've got a lot of money and a lot of clout.
So C4 has a lot of warning labels on it. Have you ever read one?
Yeah, I can't remember. I'm sure it's things like don't take it if you're pregnant, don't take it if you have this or that.
It's like 2 inches long and like a whole rectangle.
C4 is a workout supplement, guys, in case you aren't familiar.
And it's like, if you have this, if you have this, if you have this, if you have this, like, don't take this. Yeah. And like, it's still doing well enough to where people people are still buying it. And I mean, I after I read that, and then like, I don't know if reading that made me feel even worse than I was going to or not, but I was like, I'm not going to drink this anymore. So
what? I wonder why are those warnings on there though? Is it because caffeine affects those things? Is it because there's a certain amino acid which reacts with, like, if you have a certain illness, you're probably taking a certain pill, and therefore it reacts with that pill? Is it that sort of thing, or is it actually full of chemicals that are toxic?
I think it's probably the caffeine.
Yeah, okay.
Like caffeine levels,
so
or
should it be on coffee? Yes. Is it because coffee natural, then it doesn't have to have those warnings? Because you can't put a warning on something natural? It's weird, right?
Yeah.
The other point I don't know if they do this here. They do it in Europe, or the UK at least. Cigarettes have these warnings on them. It literally says, smoking will give you cancer, cancer will kill you, or cancer will kill you. And it's got pictures of like really severe gum disease and like throat cancer, and it's images of it. Yeah. And it will say smoking kills. Big label right across the Marlboro badge. You can't even see it because it's got this on it. I have not seen any reduction in smoking out of the people I know that smoke with these labels. Okay. Now, I know it's slightly different because it's a much more addictive substance. I know sugar is said to be addictive, but much more addictive. If you had Coke and you had, a fat, obese person on there, would that stop you drinking Coke? I don't know.
Probably not.
And could you do that to the McDonald's cups and the Starbucks cups and, everything. The big jugs you get at the, cinema?
No.
And who is to decide what sugar does? Even now, they're not 100% sure what types of sugar does what type of damage. Yeah, they're just not sure. Like, everyone's, the medical professionals are pretty convinced that sugar's bad and it will cause this, this, and this. But, I mean, there's lots of people that drink a lot of sugar and don't have those symptoms to some degree. I drank a lot of sugar for my life. The amount of soda I've drank in my life could challenge a lot of obese people. But the other habits I have in my life have counteracted that.
Yeah, that's true. And
I think more than do the products have to have warnings, people need to be educated in a better manner. And I realize warnings would do that, but warnings don't educate. Warnings scare people, and scaring people is not the right thing.
Tactics, yeah.
That's
true.
Yeah.
So I think it's just finding a better way to educate then.
Because a can of Coke isn't bad for you.
I think, no, but
20
I think
cans of Coke is bad for you.
I think the education piece comes down to a lot of the food industry is controlled by the government and vice versa. Like, there's like weird money situations there, and so like for forever, like high fructose corn syrup was pushed because corn was a big commodity, and it was like, oh well, this is much better than sugar, and then it's like came back that it's not. Yeah. And it's like, why was this pushed for so long? And it's because it was like part of the industry. Yeah. So I think that's a big concern with the whole education piece of it, because it's like, well, are they getting the right education, or are they getting the government subsidized education? Yeah.
And it's weird because Bud Light put out that commercial during the Super Bowl. Was it Bud or was it Miller that said, we put our ingredients on the can and it's got no corn syrup? And then I think Miller or whoever the other people were, maybe it was Bud, whoever was the reverse, put out a statement saying, yeah, we have corn syrup, but we don't have high fructose corn syrup. So our corn syrup is fine in comparison to the high fructose, which is the real bad stuff. And it just shows you that the populace isn't educated enough to know the difference. That they think like, the difference between corn syrup and high fructose corn syrup is massive.
Yeah.
You know, and it is fine to have corn syrup if it's not high fructose to some degree.
Yeah.
You know, and it's because people aren't educated and people try to use it to marketing ploys. Same as good fats. Good fats aren't good for you. They're better for you.
Yeah.
You know, they're like trans fats rather than your saturated fats, you know, or rather than your, whatever the other ones are. Monounsaturated fats are known as good fats. Polyunsaturated are good source. Also, the trans fats are bad, which are your saturates.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Your non-saturates and your trans fats. Yeah. Yeah, your saturated fats and your trans fats are bad, but your polyunsaturated and monounsaturated fats.
Okay. That makes sense.
So yeah, good fats are better for you. You know, it's the same. People just don't know. And it's taken me 30 years to get to a point where I feel like I'm comfortable at knowing what to eat and what to provide eventually my family to eat.
Yeah.
But my mom and dad don't know.
Yeah.
Every time I go home and I provide my dad with a new bit of information, he changes his diet. I have a colleague at work who would drink a 6-pack of Coke a day. You know, multiple Cokes a week. And only this year, I've spoken to him, he said, oh yeah, I've stopped drinking my Cokes. They're really bad for me, apparently. I'm like, what do you mean apparently? You're a 40-year-old man.
Oh my
How do you not know Coke's bad for you? You know? And he only changed the diet, but I mean, it's something. And like, wow, how can you have gone 40 years?
And
he's
not
educated.
know.
It's not as if he's an idiot.
Yeah.
He's overweight already, so he knows it has to be something.
Yeah.
To be honest, he doesn't eat exercise, but it's adding to that, you know?
Oh my God.
Yeah. I think warnings are unnecessary if education is done correctly.
Okay. I can agree with that.
But education is not going to be done correctly.
No.
Because nobody knows.
Not only that, it's going to be monetized. So it's going to be, at least here, it's going to be
yeah. You could put it into the school system. Like,
it's controlled federally or by the state.
Well, that should be so, because like there should be physical education should include this PE, and it should be, and again, this is me talking from a sort of your fantasy land, but physical education and body awareness, and that's including your health, your diet, you know, how to move, why to move, and that include things like sexual health, include things like, you know, kind of medical health. That should encompass physical education, because it's all physical, and then you should hit it in that criteria. And that, again, it goes on to like, oh, we need to learn about insurance and investments and all this sort of stuff. Yes, all this stuff is included in school, but if you can't take care of your body and your body's not healthy, why the fuck do you learn anything?
Yeah. No, I agree with all of that, except, so schools are controlled by the state.
Okay.
And so the nutrition side will be controlled by like the whole My Plate thing. And so whatever is, at one point it was the food pyramid where it was like, you need to eat like however many things of grain a day. And like that was the base of your food pyramid. So, and then like now it's the whole My Plate thing. So very much controlled by the government and what is popular at the time.
Yeah.
And then from there,
I just laugh at thinking Trump just eats McDonald's. No wonder it's not going anywhere.
Exactly.
You know?
From there, the sex ed part of it, that's also controlled by the state. So that is dependent on what state you're in. So like in a lot of the more conservative states, only abstinence is taught. And so then it's like you have girls getting pregnant in high school, and it's like, well, how did this happen? And they legitimately don't have the education of knowing. Like, you should have heard some of the questions that my old English teacher said that students had asked her, because they literally didn't know, because abstinence was taught. And it's like, we're not giving tools to where, like, clearly that's not going to happen. Like, let's just grow up and realize that, like, that's not going to be the case for everybody. And so then they don't have these other tools to fall back on to know.
And unfortunately, that goes even further than just political views. That goes into religious views, and you know, and it's just that's where. So I was listening to a podcast about Brexit we talked about last week, and they were, you know, making big comparisons. They were talking about how Europe's stupid and it's doing it all wrong, and the States are doing everything right. I was like, clearly not.
No.
you're fucking backwards over here in some places.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like the whole conservatism part usually is dictated by the like amount of religiousness of the state. And it's like that was why the whole separation of church and, or that's a reason why the whole separation of church and state thing, because like one person or one area's or one group's religious views isn't supposed to dictate the way the government's run.
That would, oh my God, it's like, as a teacher, you take an oath. I feel that you should be taking an oath to educate a child, to provide them with the most beneficial, and I guess those people believe that this is the beneficial way, abstinence.
Yeah.
Mental. Mental to me.
No, it is. And then if you go against it, then it's like, well, you're the teacher who taught our kids how to have sex. Yeah. It's like, then you get in trouble for that.
But even that, you could win that argument. No, I taught your kids how to have safe sex. I didn't tell them to have sex. I didn't tell them how to have sex. I told them that if they were to have sex, which they will at some point in their lives, how to do it without, having kids or getting diseases, things that you weren't teaching them. I was teaching them a natural outcome in life. Yeah. Unless what they're going to learn from the internet, from a porn site, please.
Yeah. I mean, that's the debate, but that's the argument that comes back.
That's why that goes into my views on things that aren't during this topic, but yeah.
So I don't even remember what this one was about.
Sugar. Warnings. No, don't put warnings, but educate. Please educate better.
Yes, I agree with that.
Because the warnings, they just won't have enough space to write all the stuff you need to tell them.
Oh yeah, I agree. This is one I go back and forth on. I don't really know how I feel about it. I kind of do.
That's good. That's good.
Where did it go? Should zoos be banned, or should zoos be like a thing? We'll put zoos and aquariums in here.
Okay, so to start off, I am not too up to scratch with what zoos provide the animals that are in their care. I know there's zoos and sanctuaries that have that. Some of them are in certain what's the word?
Habitats?
They're like in a sort of group together. Like all the people kind of abide by a certain. They're like an organization where they will provide a certain level of health and safety and environmental conditions for these animals. And I think the ones that are kind of have that and are kind of controlled by a kind of non-profit, best for the animal type thing, they should be allowed. And the study of animals and the controlled breeding in some circumstances can be good, but there are also a hell of a lot of zoos out there that I just put zoos in quotation marks that just have animals for entertainment purposes, which is not good.
Yeah.
Like kids, I believe. Do I believe that's interesting? Do I believe a kid should be able to go to the zoo and see a monkey? Why? I tell you what's better. Having the kid see a David Attenborough documentary and learning about an animal in its habitat rather than going to the zoo and seeing it as a performing monkey.
Yeah.
Because it isn't. And if you treat it as a performing monkey, a caged animal, then not only does the kid have less care for it, but then if it was to ever, it loses the empathy for the environment and for all these other things, Like if you don't have the experience of going to see an animal in the wild in its habitat where you could potentially be victim to its woes, whatever it wants to do, you don't know what an animal is.
Yeah, you take away its animalness.
Yeah. Like, how many people have laughed and lolled and had a brilliant time looking at, an orca at, SeaWorld. And then you think, fuck, if you were in the water and that was there, I would have eaten you alive.
Yeah.
Not a second glance type thing. I don't know. Yeah. I love zoos, though. They're so entertaining.
So that's where I'm at. So zoos I was always kind of on the fence about. But aquariums I really liked. And then, so Atlanta has the Georgia Aquarium. It's huge. It's really nice. And then I went one time and we saw the beluga whales. And then I read a documentary or heard something about it. Basically, they have a gala there, whatever, and they play the music so loud that the vibrations like really mess with these beluga whales to the point where like they've caught them like banging their heads on the glass, like because it's just like so overstimulating.
Yeah.
And ever since then, like I don't think I went to aquarium for a very, very long. This was like in college, and it was like years. I went to one in Japan. But that may be like the first one.
So I think
in a really long time.
As far as aquarium goes, I've only ever been to one, and I don't know how I feel about it exactly. For many of those animals, I don't think the size of their habitat has a great effect. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think if you have an aquarium, you should definitely have certain legislation to cover the surrounding waters and surrounding areas. Mm-hmm. I had a discussion on Facebook the other week there that we have like fracking explosions done around seabeds around the northeast of America, and the sound of that, it travels through water a lot more efficiently because it's not got to travel through air. Like the movement of the particles in the water is much bigger, and it can be up to 16,000 times louder than it is on land, or like if you're seeing out there. So the animals in the sea, especially the ones who rely on some sort of echolocation or any sort of communication, or even just, especially things like beluga whales, are greatly distressed and affected by these noises, because it's, imagine having an air horn beside your head, essentially, constantly going off,
Yeah.
So, but that's getting away from our topic. The main thing that I think zoos are good for is the issue that we have with the removal of habitats of animals. Like, we're killing the Amazon rainforest at a stupid rate. We're killing African habitat, all these habitats. And without them, I'm no doubt half the animals on the dangerous species list would be gone. If it wasn't for things like zoos and the funds which zoos, do create and provide and help with.
Yeah. So I think, like, for conservation purposes, as long as they're done well, and the animals are treated humanely, and like have a large enough area, then sure. The whole like bred in captivity thing, I don't really know how I feel about. But even then, like, it's like
I'm more okay with bred in captivity.
Okay.
I think I don't like animals being taken out of the wild. That doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. Being bred in captivity, like, I don't have as much of a... I don't believe... My empathy for animals isn't as large as maybe other people's. Like, if a dog can't tell me what I'm feeling, or a monkey, or whatever, then I shouldn't care what it's feeling to some degree. Right? I know that sounds silly, but a monkey will never... Rarely, most animals will rarely... A monkey's a bit of a bad choice because it's a bit of borderline, but an animal will very rarely help you.
Yeah.
They'll be interested. They might take a liking to you because you provide them food, but they will never try and provide... Dogs are slightly different as well, but because they work in a pack mentality, but many animals... especially, will not try and help you. Will not try and provide you food. They're out for themselves because that's all they know.
Yeah.
And therefore, if they're born in captivity, they're only doing what they know.
Yeah.
And they don't know anything else. So
it's true.
And science, investigation into animals has helped some medical science and stuff like that. Don't know if I agree quite with like testing on animals, but something else as well. Beats testing on humans, that's for sure. Which was done in the US.
Yeah.
Recently. I would say keep them. They should be regulated better. You can go to zoos in the US that have just got tigers and monkeys from anywhere and have no regulation to abide by.
Regulated conservation purposes only.
And
and just have well-educated people.
We're not gonna be able to stop it now, unfortunately.
It goes back into the education piece. Like, don't just have a random person out of high school there working with.
Yeah.
Like, make sure people are educated. They know what they're professionals in the animals that they're dealing with.
The thing is, most zoos don't make money.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought most zoos make a big profit. and therefore they're obviously doing it for the benefit of somebody.
Yeah.
Whether it's kids to learn, humans to learn, or something else. I can't see zoos making much money.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Like, I know they're expensive to go to, but they don't have that much turnaround. It's not like Disneyland where they're making
No, there's not like that much to do. You pay the entrance fee and that's really it.
Yeah. And then
There's probably
keeping
a lot of
animals is a
funding for
lot
it.
of money. Yeah, there will be funding, but you like, even so, funds aren't for profit. Funds
Yeah.
are to keep it running. So
Yeah.
they're fine. I'm not totally against them.
Okay.
As long as whatever's learned goes into conservation of habitat and animals in future.
Okay. Fair enough.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. All right, last one.
Okay.
Are humans too dependent on computers? And by computers, I mean like all of our devices. Phone, tablet, actual computer.
So, as individuals, no.
Okay.
As society or as a populace, yes. If Y2K happened, the individual wouldn't fall apart, but everything else would.
Yeah.
So the whole stock market is done on computers. All that's done at the moment on computers. So all our finances would go to shit. More and more and more of our defense network and our whether it's the MOD or the all that stuff is done on computers and machines. All our nuclear weapons are controlled through computer. Everything, all that sort of stuff. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about, like circuit board computers rather than like lights and electricity.
Yeah.
So, as an individual, could I, if my job didn't require me to use a computer, I think I could go multiple days without using computers.
Even your phone and tablet too?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know I could learn the numbers, I could write down the numbers of people I need. Is a telephone a computer? Like, not a mobile phone.
Like calling or texting?
Calling.
No.
Nah, I could get by.
Okay.
Is my car? My car has a computer on it.
That's the thing. Like, there's so many.
So,
different things
no, as in my car doesn't need it. You could have a car
you could
without
have
a
a car
computer.
that didn't have it. Yeah.
And we had cars without computers,
Yeah.
so we can do that. It'd be less safe, but we could do it.
Yeah.
Have a traffic light to use a computer. Right? So that's where it comes to. As a personal thing, I don't need a computer. That's easy to say. I believe I don't need a computer.
A day without computers.
I could do other things. I will. Most of my time is spent, my free time is spent off computers.
Yeah.
So I think I could do that personally. But going to the shops, you have to use a computer. Going to driving, you need to use computers. Traveling, need computers. Flying, traveling anywhere, as in everything that we consider to be
would fall apart. With computers.
So as humanity, yes.
Yeah.
As humans, no. As humanity, yes. I would say.
Okay.
What's
I
your
would agree with that. I find myself relying on it too much. Like today I was driving to a friend's house, and I wanted to make sure I was going the fastest way to get there. So I got Google Maps out. But then I found, like, I know how to get from point A to point B, just checking the route to make sure, like, there's not a faster way. And then I found myself, like, using it to get there. And I'm like I kept it up for, like, not for a longer extended period than just checking the traffic. And then I was like, why am I using this? Like, it's solely not to use my brain.
Yeah.
And so then I exited out of it. And I've found that more and more recently is, like, I'll open it to check traffic and then be like, oh, I just will use it. So I've been trying not to.
So a second part to this one is I think everyone's in agreement we are very dependent
Yes.
on computers. Are we too dependent? Is too dependent such a thing? Why would you say we're too dependent? What are computers providing or removing from you that you could have achieved or got in another way that would be more beneficial to create growth?
I mean, in the map situation, learning a new way on my own. So it's like expanding your brain.
But what is the map providing you that you, or what is the map removing from you?
Having to think.
Okay, but is that thought required?
Well, no, it's not required, but then it takes away it's like taking away the thing from the monkey in the last question. Like, it just takes away the whole, like, human experience.
But do you believe that? So, it's interesting because I think that dependency, it depends on what level of dependency you refer to. Because, like, I don't depend on my phone to listen to music. Mm-hmm. I use it to listen to music, but I don't. Yeah. I could use CDs. I have a collection of CDs for most of the music I listen to anyway. But I use Spotify. Yeah. But it's easier. Now, I'm not saying it's required. I'm not saying I'm dependent on it, but it just makes an easier process. So it saves me 5 minutes. It saves me looking for a CD in the car. It saves me having to kind of take care of that CD.
Yeah. So it makes things more convenient.
So is that a dependency? I don't know. Maybe it's like, not really. Like, don't get me wrong. There's definitely some people who, so there's an argument of people just Google everything. Nobody debates anything. Nobody tries to work things out anymore. They just Google it for an answer. And people are like, oh, well, that takes away from your mental processing, or you try to become better as, more thoughtful and more analytical. But do we need that part of our brain working if we have computers?
Have we surpassed the need for that because of the technology that we have?
And if we have, what's left? Are we more creative? Can people be more creative?
I think it stifles
social media might suggest we get more creative, because how many more memes are there out there? How many more YouTube videos? Because these people who had never been creative before have more of a means to become creative. Does that mean it's gonna affect growth in other things, or maybe we won't get as far into research, or maybe literature is going to take a real deep fall because now we are having 148 characters to write out a tweet rather than a novel.
Yeah.
You get all these writers that are blogging and keeping it short because nobody wants to read anything long.
Yeah.
Are we ever going to have a great American writer anymore? Probably not.
Yes,
we're never going to have another Shakespeare.
No. Or another J.K. Rowling.
We may have another J.K. Rowling.
You don't know that.
Yeah, Engelbert Humperdinck. What was her name?
Who?
I don't know. What was her penman name?
Robert Galbraith.
That was the one, yeah.
Yeah. Did you say Eekert?
I said Engelbert Humperdinck, which is like a musician, a piano player, I think.
So not too dependent, but...
We're dependent in the sense that everything would fall apart for them.
Yes. But so not too dependent in the sense of that is a problem.
I don't know. I'd be curious. I'm really curious to know if we split it up. If you had people who didn't have computers and so, my feelings on social media anyway, following another podcast, but how society and how humanity would evolve with and without them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, it was easier for me to study, I feel, using computers. I didn't have to look through libraries and textbooks to find information.
Yeah.
I had to Google it and it gave me the answer.
Yeah.
But does that make me more intelligent or less intelligent?
I don't know.
Is it made me more or less capable? Has it created a new generation of kids who don't understand working for a result?
Yes, absolutely.
See, that is a dependent problem.
Yes. I can absolutely answer that one as a yes.
If kids don't know how to, if anybody doesn't know how to work to achieve something, that's where we fall into the issue we've got right now, which is a totally different topic of the deserved attitude, or I don't know what's the name for it. People. And yeah, there we go. Thanks. Of the entitled attitude of everyone.
Yes.
And unfortunately, I fall onto that bell curve a little bit as well myself. I'm at that level where I'm just young enough to hit that. And it's bad. It's like, it's the issue of not wanting to call. That seems like such a stupid issue. But me, you, my sister...
I've gotten better at it. I don't care anymore.
We all get better at it. As you get older, you get better in general. But like, in my 20s, my sister's older than me and she refuses to call people. And that's through this, I'll just text, or just email. I do it at work and I'm bad for it at work. And something I've tried to improve on is I'll just email back and forth. I don't want to speak to you.
Yeah.
And partly it's because it's my character, but also partly because I'd rather just email, because then that wouldn't have happened if emails didn't exist or text didn't exist. And have you ever asked out someone to their face?
What do you mean?
Oh, you've been with Drake for so long. So like when I flirted with girls when I was younger, a lot of it was done through text and MSN Messenger, and like nobody had that experience of the fear of flirting quite the same way, or they
Yeah,
were
like
able
to
to
their
build
face.
build a certain level of it. Yes, you had to obviously still flirt with people, but most of the kids now Snapchat and whatever else. That's how they build a relationship, and you can't.
Yeah, like Kendall and her boyfriend, they texted through Snapchat. Like that was their way of communicating.
You can't, as in, don't get me wrong, you can learn a lot from people, and a lot of people, you don't have your insecurities, so you can discuss most. There's a potential for deeper conversation, but that isn't replicated once you get side by side.
Yeah.
Often isn't replicated.
Yeah.
And it's faked and blah, blah, blah.
They lose those social skills.
But that's evolution.
Is it? Are we forcing it that way?
It's a man-made evolution, but it's an evolution. And it's going to determine the direction we will take as a race, as a species, unfortunately. And it will dictate how we reproduce in the future and how we take over worlds and all that sort of stuff. It's going to be interesting. Well, it already has. Anyone can honestly tell me social media didn't affect the last US election.
Oh, it absolutely did. Yeah.
Whether it was the Russians or whether it's just, the democratic media or whoever it is. Hell, most of the news in those 2 years was, what's Trump tweeted? Mm-hmm. Mental. An unscripted, moronic man writing something in 48 characters. 148, whatever it is.
I think it's 160 now.
It's 160 now?
I think so.
Good, that extra 12 really makes a difference.
Yeah.
I can put an extra hashtag in.
You can.
Yeah. Hashtag not my president. Oh wow, I'm so through 2016 or whatever.
Yes.
You can't say we're dependent because they are a necessity.
Yeah.
And if they're a necessity, you can't be you can't say it's too dependent.
Okay.
But it would be interesting to see what happened if all the satellites for telephone networks stopped.
We have an issue. Big problem.
We would have an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't know how I'd be able to order my Amazon. Well, no, I don't do it on my phone. The internet's phone line, I guess. Yeah. Well, a lot of it's broadband now, which still uses light signals eventually. But no, it's all anyway. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right, we done for that one?
Yeah.
Wow, that one's an hour as well. What the fuck are we doing?
That was fun though.
Yeah, that was better than Brexit.
Brexit was fine.
Brexit was fine. Yeah, okay. There are my thoughts.
Yes, those are mine.
Cool.
Do you have any shits and hits?
No, but I do want to go see Aladdin.
I can't decide.
I've heard really good things about it.
Really?
Like, everyone I've spoken to says but maybe they're thinking it's because they were going and thinking it was going to be crap. Uh-huh. But they found themselves smiling and laughing and actually enjoying it and saying it's just as good as the animated version.
Really? I just can't get over the genie.
Apparently, Will Smith does a really good job.
Okay.
He doesn't try to be Robin Williams.
Okay.
You get used to the blue real quick, and it's gone back to him just being charming Will Smith. Okay. Which is like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air charming Will Smith, which is the best Will Smith, let's be fair. Sorry, 6 pounds Will Smith, you're just no good. Okay. So yeah, apparently it's pretty good. I don't have to see it at cinema, I can always see it on
I think it
Blu-ray,
might be a see on when it comes out one.
Yeah, wait for Netflix.
I do want to see it for sure.
Or Disney Plus when that comes out. What was it? Brightburn, that's come out. It was mixed reviews.
Terrifying.
I heard it wasn't that scary. There's a couple of gruesome moments, quite gory. But it's fine.
I was told,
there's a lot
do
of
not
loopholes.
Go see it. You will not sleep.
Okay. Well, I don't know. From what I've heard, I don't know if it's like that, but maybe I heard it from people who quite enjoy horror movies, so it's different. There was another one. Godzilla's out this weekend I want to see as well, but again, the reviews are only 50% Rotten Tomatoes, 48%, and that saddens me because I wanted this to be a really good one. Yeah. And we have a week till X-Men, I think. Okay. June the 7th, is it X-Men? Is that next week?
No idea. Yeah, June the 7th is next week.
And then you've got Lion King and a couple. So we've got a couple of things to watch, but I've not seen anything new.
I'm excited for Lion King.
I did listen to that other... Yeah, Lion King should be alright. The other Ed Sheeran song.
How was it?
The one with Chance the Rapper.
Uh-huh.
Meh.
Okay.
Just meh. And what other music came out this week? Nothing good. Just the same one. Just Spotify is just full of rap music, man. And I have nothing wrong with rap music. I like rap music and hip hop, but it's just so many people, and I'm like, is this good? Is it good to have this much music? I guess it's good, but nobody can listen to it all, and it just, you have to be elite to be listened to, and it almost, I guess it's good for everyone to have the opportunity to be listened to, but the thing is, who's making money off all this? None of the artists are, unless you're going out to see them, which nobody is.
No. Because they can watch them on the computer.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, that's something else. I suppose I could create a song and put it onto iTunes tonight if I really wanted to, so it's not as if
Let's do it.
Okay, we'll do that. We're going to put the Mumble cast
theme song.
What is? I was going to try and make another rhyming word. There must be a rhyming word for a song. It name's Mumble. Can't think of it. Anyway, okay. That's it. Hit us up. Instagram, Twitter, @themumblecast. Let us know your thoughts and feelings on any of the topics we discussed today. If it's something we missed out that you think's relevant to all. Prevalent? What's prevalent mean?
Prevalent and relevant.
Prevalent. Thank
Together.
you. Yes, I just combined words that mean the same, similar thing.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I need Kayla to help me with words. That's about it. I'm at Neville's Mail. If you care to tweet me. I don't use Twitter, but tweet me and then I can have a reason to.
Yeah.
That's about it. All right. Next week we'll do something else. Don't know what. Don't know when.
Yep.
I've been Liam.
I'm Kayla.
And this has been Mumblecast.
Bye.
Bye.